I have the hard eyes for Flynn Rider. We've had quite an exciting week. I have some books to haul for you. I hated this book. Hello friends, welcome to a new video. My name is Lacey. Today's video is a reading vlog and I'm very excited to be getting back into vlogging. I posted one, I don't know, a couple weeks ago now, and I'm excited to get this one started as well. So I'm going to tell you what I am currently reading. I haven't started this yet, but I'm about to start Defy the Night by Bridget Kammerer. I have heard that this is like a dark Robin Hood retelling, and that has me super excited. I have loved Bridget Kammerer in the past, and I've owned this book pretty much since it came out and just still haven't read it. So I want to get this one off my TBR cart, and I am very excited to get into it. So I'll keep you posted after I have officially started it. And I also want to talk about the audiobook that I'm currently listening to, which is Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing by Matthew Perry. If you watched my last reading vlog, you may know that I am over halfway through this. I think I'm like 75% into it at this point, and I'm not loving it. I would argue that it's titled incorrectly and that it's mostly just about the big terrible thing and drug addiction and alcohol abuse and all that stuff, and less about friends and lovers. So, I mean, he does talk about those things a little bit, but the catalyst of this story so far is just his drug addiction throughout the years, and it's told in a very non-linear way, and it's very hard to follow like what part of his life he's talking about at any given time. So I'm not really loving this book. I do love the show Friends, and I want nothing but the best for Matthew Perry, but unfortunately I'm just like not super sympathetic to this issue that he has, and I don't know, just like I think he says some contradictory things throughout the book, and it also just like isn't very happy or hopeful of a book yet. I'm hoping that it ends on a little bit of a more hopeful note. But anyways, I just wanted to let you know that I am listening to this. It is a very quick and easy listen. I mean, it like obviously hits on heavy topics, but it's easy to listen to. So that's what I'm currently reading, and I will update you when I have more to say. Hello friends, it has been a while since we talked last. I do have some bookish updates for you, but I don't have enough time to sit down and do that right now. I do want to show you a book that I got in the mail yesterday, and then Ava's over here. She's sitting in a chair out of frame over here. But she also got some stuff at her school book fair yesterday that she wants to show you. So first I will show you the book that I got. I did pre-order The Fiancé Farce, and this is by Alexandria Bellefleur. This is by an author who has some popular books, but I can't remember exactly what the first one is called. I'll put a picture of it up here. But this is a new adult rom-com. It's sapphic, and it's about a cover model and someone in the publishing industry, and they get like mixed up in this fake, not dating, but actually like a fake engagement romance. And this is our book club pick for the month of June, so I'm very excited to read this with the group. I love the colors and the cover. It kind of looks like a magazine cover almost, and I'm excited. I just wanted to show you that I did get this in the mail. And then Ava's here. Do you want to show what you got at your book fair?
Okay, hi guys, it's me, Ava, and I got this from my school. It's a diary.
It looks like a cat.
Yeah, and it has a little lock, and I put the keys on the keychain, and then a little lock to go with it. And I got a book called Bad Kitty Gets a Phone, and I am so excited to read this because it's in full color. See, kitty, bad kitty.
We like Bad Kitty, don't we? Yeah. All right. That's it. Yeah, we love Bad Kitty, and we have like, what do you think, like 5 or 6 Bad Kitty books? She's always wanting to reread the same ones, so she picked this one out yesterday, and yeah, I didn't know that they had full color Bad Kitty books, so that's really exciting. We'll have to read this. All right, that's all we have for this update, and we will chat later about the books that I've been reading. Hello, it is a Sunday, and I actually have a minute to sit down and chat with you all, so let's do that now. We've had quite an exciting week. So I finished 2 books, and I do have updates for you on the physical book that I'm reading, which is Defy the Night. I also just want to kind of comment on our personal lives, and that is to say that we did become annual pass holders once again at Disney World this past week. So we already have trips planned for October and December, but now we're thinking about trying to squeeze in a summer trip, so maybe going in June. We've already kind of worked out the details. As long as we can get approval from our supervisors at work to be off for a week, it shouldn't be a problem because we tend to be kind of slow at our work in June. So we both work at the same place, by the way, but in different departments. So we have similar schedules. But anyways, we're just trying to like maximize our annual passes by going as often as possible. And the only thing is we'd also have to get a refund on the summer camp that Ava's in for that 1 week that we would be gone. So that shouldn't be a problem. They may charge like $10 or something like that, but we should get all the rest of that week's money back, which would help pay for the hotel. So, but we are just so excited about that, and more details will be coming. By the way, if you are interested in following my family's Disney's adventures, we do have an entire YouTube channel dedicated to that, and I will link it down below for you. It's always linked down below for you, and put a little picture up here so you can see what icon to look for. It's called Bells in Disney, and if we have videos to upload, we only upload 1 per week, and there are long stretches throughout the year in which we don't have videos to upload. But if we do go in June, which it looks like we will have a series of videos coming out after that. So excited about that. Just wanted to share. It's like all we can think about right now. All right, now let's talk about books. The first book that I finished since we talked last is Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing by Matthew Perry. I didn't love this book, but I also didn't hate it. It's Matthew Perry's experience, and it was interesting to hear the story from his point of view, from his mouth. He did narrate the audiobook, which was nice to hear. He does talk a little bit about Friends, and he talks very fondly about Friends, but this book is definitely very focused on the big terrible thing, which is his drug and alcohol abuse and addiction throughout the years. And I guess I didn't realize how bad it was for him, or like how many times he had relapsed over time. I will say I'm not like super sympathetic to the issues that he has. At least like after the second or third time, I think it's harder to feel sorry for someone, but I also have no idea what it's really like for those people, you know? So this is like one of those memoirs that it's hard to talk about because I have no experience with drug and alcohol abuse or with a person who has that issue. One thing that did annoy me about this book though is that it's told in a very non-linear timeline, which I talked about already in this vlog, but he just jumps around from different times of his life so sporadically that it's hard to know at any given point what time of his life he's talking about. And I think if it had been a little bit more of a linear timeline, it would have been easier to follow and, I don't know, made more sense in my head because it's all just very confusing. So anyways, I did listen to it, and it's like that I listened to it, like that's all I have to say about it. It does end on a little bit of a hopeful note, so fingers crossed for Matthew Perry, because like I said, I want nothing but the best for him. So I finished that, and then I was looking through Hoopla and I found The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and I was like, oh, this is a book that's been getting so much hype lately. I should check it out. So this is an adult romance book, but it is set to the backdrop of this fictional version of Disney World, and it's called Dreamland, and it's about these 3 brothers who are basically inheriting from their father who created Dreamland and their love stories. So the first one followed the brother known as Rowan, and the female's name was Zara, which don't even get me started on their names. But anyways, it's been getting a lot of buzz lately. I've been hearing pretty decent things about it, even from people who don't really get into the TikTok hype too much. But I signed up for it because of the Disney World tie-ins, basically. I thought that would be fun. I hated this book. I thought it was so bad. The romance was so icky to me. I hated both of the characters, so I couldn't root for them, but also just like he was very possessive, and I am not about that. Also, she just seemed very cliche, and he also was very cliche, and the whole situation was as well. I found the smutty scenes to be very cringy, and I just, it wasn't for me, okay? This is not my idea of a good romance between 2 people. I couldn't even tell you that I had a good time with it, even though it's not a literary gem. I can't even say that much about it. So this was a 1-star read for me, and I will not be continuing on in the series. I gave it a try. It was a very quick listen. I obviously listened to it all in 1 week here since we talked last. Also kind of don't like the way they talked about Disney World. I know it's a fictional version of Disney World, but it ain't like that. It's not like that. So anyways, it wasn't for me. It was a 1-star, and please tell me that you guys can see the flaws in this relationship. So that brings us to Defy the Night, and I am 250 pages into this. It's 447 pages, so I'm a little bit past the halfway point. This started out so strong. I absolutely love Bridget Kammerer. Like, she is such a comfort author for me. If I need to read something that I know I'm gonna love and find easy to get into but still be captivated, she is the author, and this is no exception. I will say I'm in a little bit of a lull or a boring part of this book, but like I said, it did start out so strong. We meet these two characters who are like these Robin Hood type characters. Basically, there's this like disease going around, and it seems kind of random of who it affects, and there is this moonflower petal that can be broken down and made into a medicine, and it seems to help these sick people. So everyone's going crazy for this moonflower. Our main characters, Wes and Tessa, basically steal this moonflower from people who have too much of it and give it to people in need in their little town or whatever. Then, I don't even know at what point, maybe like a third into the book, the story takes a little bit of a turn, and it was so emotional and well written. It was captivating, and ever since that like turn in the story, there's been a little bit of a lull for me, a little bit on the boring side. There's been a shift in the story. I do anticipate it will pick up a little bit, but I do find myself being a little bit bored at the moment, so hopefully it will pick up. But yeah, I really love these characters. They're really well developed and so different and very dynamic, and I can't wait to see what happens. And I would assume that this cliffhangs a little bit. There is a book 2 that's out, and then book 3 comes out, I believe, in January. We'll see how this ends. If it ends in a way that makes me want to pick up book 2 immediately, it's very possible I will do that this summer. But knowing that book 3 doesn't come out until January, I may put a little bit of space in between each one, just so there's not too much space between them, but also I didn't like binge read books 1 and 2 and then have to wait for book 3, so we'll see. But so far so good. Like I said, love this author. I wish I was a little bit more captivated at this point in time, but I'm sure it will pick up. Just knowing Bridget Kammerer and how much I love her as an author, I'm sure it will. And I almost forgot, I am actually listening to another audiobook. This one just became available to me, and it is Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton, and I am 15% into this so far. It's a very short audiobook. It's only like 6.5 hours long, and I'm about 1 hour into it. I am really enjoying this so far. I mean, like I said, I'm not very far into it, and it's very short anyways, but I'm really enjoying listening to his narration of it, and his writing is very like quirky and fun and lighthearted, and it's easy to listen to, and he seems really like this is going to be a fun story to hear about. So I'm enjoying the kind of tone of it, and I think this will probably be the last nonfiction memoir that I read this year. I don't have any others that are like on my radar. Yeah, I'm excited about it nonetheless, and getting all these like kind of quick nonfiction memoirs read has really helped my Goodreads goal, which is good because it will probably come to a screeching halt in August whenever I start my grad class. So anyways, yeah, that's my reading update, and that's all I have to say at the moment. So hopefully I can get to some good parts in this, and then we can talk a little bit more about it. I am shifting gears completely after this. I will be reading an adult contemporary romance book after this. So we will talk about that when the time comes, and that's all I have to say for now. Peace. Hello friends, it has been a week yet again since we talked, but that just means I have so much more to tell you. We had the craziest week last week. We had something to do after school every day, and then we were also very busy at work because we're like gearing up for the end of the school year. So this upcoming week should be a little bit easier, and then after that we only have to work 4 days a week during the summer, and we have a summer vacation planned now. So we did book that Disney trip I was talking about the other day. I did get a boo-boo on my foot. I had like some swelling and buildup around one of my toenails, and I did get it checked out by a doctor, and they put me on an antibiotic and gave me some cream to put on it, and I do think it's getting better. It was pretty bad there for a few days. I did walk 15,000 steps while it was all messed up, and that was a hard day. And then because I was walking kind of funny, like the rest of my leg is now sore, like the muscles in my leg that I don't normally use in that way are sore from walking kind of weird. So anyways, I do think that's getting better. I just rewatched this vlog up to this point so I could know what we've even talked about already, because life has just been so wild. But I do have quite a few updates for you. So I think the first thing I want to do is talk about Defy the Night. So this is the physical book that I was reading the last time we talked. I did just finish this yesterday, and I'm gonna settle on a 4-star rating for this. This wasn't like my favorite book. I do think this is lacking something to make it spectacular. Well, let me backtrack just a little bit. The beginning of this book was like a 5-star beginning, and the middle chunk was definitely a little boring, and then the ending was good again, but it didn't like cliffhang, and there was no like crazy twists. I think that would have made it extra spectacular for me. I wish this cliff hung a little bit more, because I really don't know at this point if I want to read book 2. So we'll see, I don't know. But I did really like it a lot. Oh, my cats are fighting. I did really like this a lot, but it's just not like spectacular. But it was a fantastic like comfort read. Bridget Camara is such an easy author to read from, and I always do enjoy her books, but this one just wasn't like an all-time favorite. Also, I did decide to go ahead and start an audiobook, and that is a reread of Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This is the first book in her Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, which is a spin-off trilogy from her Caraval series, and I am going to reread books 1 and 2 before getting into book 3 in the fall when it comes out in October. And these are narrated by Rebecca Soler, and my library does have audiobook versions of them, so I thought that would be a good way to consume the story for the second time around. And yeah, I don't have much to say at this point. I think I'm only an hour into it. I'm excited to be getting back into this world and Stephanie Garber's writing. I just love her and her books so much. So yeah, I'm excited to get back into that, and I'm like starting to get kind of hype about the release of book 3. Oh, let me go get my other book that I'm currently reading. So the book that I have picked up after finishing Defy the Night is Dream On by Angie Hockman, and this is an adult romance book. I believe it's like a rom-com, and it's all about our main character Cass, who wakes up after surviving a car accident, and she had all these memories like when she was in her coma of this man named Devin. They were in love, and when she wakes up, she realizes no one knows who Devin is. This Devin person does not actually exist. So fast forward to a year later, she walks into this floral shop, and the real Devin is there. And he doesn't know who she is, but he does believe her story. So, I don't know, this all sounds very like far-fetched, and you're gonna have to suspend your disbelief a little bit, but I'm still excited to give it a try. I did really like Shipped by this author when I read it last year, and the love interest's name is Devin, which I couldn't pass up considering my husband's name is Devin. And I don't know, I'm only 20 pages into this or so, but I might restart because I was like super distracted when I started this, and I think it would help me to like get into the story more if I just like start over. Next, I have some books to haul for you. Very excited. So the first one is completely random, and it's called Christmas Camp by Karen Shaler, and apparently this is from the same author who wrote A Christmas Prince, which is a very popular Netflix film. I've watched it before. It's been a while though. And do I know anything about this? No. My husband saw this in Goodwill and picked it up for me. I don't know. But I will say, I have always wanted to read one of these books with these super cheesy like Christmas covers. So maybe this is the one I'll read. We'll give it a try. I don't know if I'll read it this Christmas, but we'll see. Next, I have the April Fairy Loot, and that was Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. The only Alexandra Bracken that I have read in the past is The Darkest Minds, and I absolutely hated that book, or I think I gave it 2 stars, and I just haven't really been interested in much of her other stuff. But I did just recently subscribe to Fairy Loot, and I decided to go ahead and let this book come to me and not skip it. So it is really beautiful. I don't think that this design is super different from the original design. I think it might be more blue or something. And then of course the sprayed edges here are gorgeous. So it basically just has the design from the front on there. And instead of putting the title on the spine, it's literally just this silver design, which I don't know, I kind of like that. So it does have some really pretty end papers. Here's the other side, and then the actual hardcover of the book also has like art printed on it. So I don't really know much about the story of this other than I believe it's like a Arthurian retelling of some kind. I fully expect this one to hang out on my TBR cart for a while. And then next, I was looking for a really short read because I'm gonna have a week coming up where I just have a few days to read something, and I decided to give Kingfisher a try. We are going to be reading Nettle and Bone as a book club in the month of May, but I wanted to go ahead and get another one of her books, and that is The Seventh Bride by Kingfisher. And I believe this one looks like it was like self-published or something. So I don't know what the situation is with this, but it did ship. Like, I bought it from Barnes & Noble, but it shipped from a wholesaler. So I'm not exactly sure what the story is with that. However, this is a book that I had heard about and it does interest me. So this is about a girl named Ray who is a miller's daughter of low birth, and one day a mysterious nobleman, Lord Creven, shows up on her doorstep and proposes marriage. Since commoners don't turn down lords, no matter how sinister they are, Rhea is forced to agree to the engagement. And this lord demands that she visit his remote manor before the wedding, and when she gets there, she discovers that not only was her betrothed married 6 times before, but his previous wives are all imprisoned in his enchanted castle. She's determined to not share that same fate, obviously, and she asserts her desire for freedom. The lord gives Rhea a series of magical tasks to complete with the threat: come back before dawn or else I'll marry you. That's interesting to me because Nettle and Bone also has like a series of tasks that the main characters have to complete in it, and I love the idea of that, the setup of that. So I'm hopeful to love this, and this is going to be a new author for me. Her books are also different. Nettle and Bone and The Seventh Bride have similar premises, but she also has like horror books and books that are romance heavy, and I can't wait to give her a try as an author. All right, I've been talking for 11 minutes now. I am going to go clean up the house a little bit. It's a Saturday. My husband stepped out. My daughter's playing video games in the next room, and I'm sorry that I haven't taken you guys along with us throughout the week when we've been doing fun stuff, but it's just been so busy. Also, my husband had the camera at work. He is making a little video for one of his co-workers that is retiring, so he had the camera with him. All right, if anything fun does happen in the next few days, I will let you know. Oh, I do know one thing that might be happening. We might be getting new phones. We found that we can trade these in and not really have to pay for the new one, so we'll see. If that ends up being true, then we might be getting new phones today. But all right, we'll talk later. Well, I turned off the camera and completely forgot to talk about Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton. I loved this audiobook. It was so quick and easy to listen to, and Tom Felton does narrate it himself, and he does such a good job. It was such a fun little peek behind the curtain that is Tom Felton's life. It was very funny. There's a couple serious moments in it as well, but for the most part, it was very lighthearted, and it was a very enjoyable read. I think it could have been longer and went into more details, and also like Tom Felton's not very old, so it's very possible that he could have written this 20 years in the future and had even more to say, but I think that's my only issue with it, is that I wish it was a little bit longer because it was such an enjoyable read. So yeah, anyways, I just wanted to comment on that. No rating, obviously, but I did really love it. Hello, friends. It is Sunday, the next day. I'm doing a no makeup day today just to give my skin a rest. I am home alone for a little bit. I don't really even know how long. My husband and daughter stepped out of the house to just like get out of the house. My husband's always wanting to get out of the house. I'm not. And my daughter just gets bored by herself, and so they decided to go out together. So I am gonna sit down and read Dream On. I do think I'm gonna start over and really pay good attention, and we'll see how far I can get into this before they get back. So I'm just gonna read, so let's go. Hello friends, it's time for an update. I don't think I've sat in this position for an update yet. I really can't remember what we've talked about so far in this vlog, but I know the last time we talked, I was getting ready to start Dream On, and I am almost finished with it. I only have like 20 pages left or something like that, so I am gonna try to finish it today. It's a Friday, I'm home early because we had commencements today, and I am so tired, and it's so hot outside, and I've been walking around outside a lot today, so I haven't cooled down yet from that, but hopefully soon. Now that I'm home, it's Friday. I have a 3-day weekend, by the way. I start my summer schedule now, which means I get an extra day off. Most weeks I will be picking Monday as my day off, so I have a 3-day weekend this weekend. I actually will talk about that in a minute, but let's talk about Dream On. So had I started this yet whenever we started talking, or was I just about to? I don't know. Anyways, like I said, I'm not quite finished with it yet, and I'm really still at this point not sure exactly how it's gonna end. I will say this book takes a completely different turn from what the synopsis makes you think this book is going to be about, from like the 20% mark. So it was very early in the book that I realized like the synopsis is, it's not misleading, like that does happen, but there's more to it than that. And I was really worried that this book was not going to explain if there was some kind of magical thing going on, or what the situation was with her memory loss, or the fact that she had these memories but no one else did. But it has explained that. It was a very quick explanation, but I guess it does kind of make sense. So anyways, I haven't quite seen how this is going to wrap up yet, so I don't want to tell you my star rating or like final thoughts, but it's funny because I was really wanting an adult book. I just felt like I was in the mood for an adult book, and I finally got to one, and it wasn't what I hoped it would be. Like I said, don't want to give you a star rating or give you final thoughts just yet, but I'm not disliking this, but I wasn't as captivated as I wanted to be by an adult book. I really do think I'm in a fantasy mood, and then the audiobook that I'm listening to is Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I only have like an hour left of this. This is going great. I have read this before. I just want a refresher before getting into book 3, which comes out in October, so I'm going to read Once Upon a Broken Heart now, and then I'll read Ballad of Never After sometime during the summer, and then the 3rd book does come out in the fall, and I will definitely be reading it physically and not via audio, but I am enjoying re-experiencing these books via the audiobook route. It is narrated by Rebecca Soler, and she's a fantastic audiobook narrator, and I'm having a good time listening to it and being back in this world, and it's making me so excited to read Ballad of Never After again. I think I might like that one even more than this one, and I'm just so excited that book 3 is going to be coming out soon. Okay, so I will get back on here, if not today, to talk about my final thoughts on Dream On, then definitely in a couple of days, because I have that summer day off, and I am going to be doing a big summer project this summer, so when it comes to cleaning and reading during those days. So I will talk more about that on Monday. If I get to finish Dream On here in the next few minutes, I am going to sit down and read, then I will get on here and talk about my final thoughts, but if not, see you Monday. Hey, so it is the same day. I do have a minute to sit down and talk with you. I did just finish Dream On by Angie Hockman. I think I'm gonna give this, I don't know. I'm finding it hard to rate books this year. Like, I used to get annoyed with people who wouldn't rate books and would only just talk about their feelings, but now I'm like kind of feeling like I get that. I get why they do that. I'm not saying I'm gonna start doing that, but I think I'm gonna give this a 3.5. It's not bad. It is very sugary sweet. There is one kind of steamy scene towards the end of this book, but just the one, and if you blink blink, you could miss it. So I do think this was so sugary sweet, and like literally everything ended in rainbows and sunshine and butterflies. I hope that's not a spoiler, but I do have a couple of complaints. The first one is that a lot of these characters feel very flat, very one-dimensional. The bad characters are super bad and they get what's coming to them at the end of the book, and the good characters are super good and they get all the good things at the end of the book, and I just felt that was a little stereotypical. I think it could have used a little bit more dimension in that sense. Also, this book is 337 pages long. It's not a super long book by any stretch of the imagination, especially for an adult romance book. They all tend to be around the same size, but it still felt like there was a lot of like scenes or dialogue where I'm like, just get on with it. Like, I felt like it was going on and on and on, and I don't know if that's just like maybe there wasn't a lot that happened in this book, and so it is the same length as a normal book because it does drag on the few events that do happen in this book. I don't know. Anyways, I liked it, didn't love it. It's not a favorite. Don't really know much else to say about it other than that. I know I told you that what the synopsis tells you is kind of different from the direction this book takes. I don't want to tell you what that is because it doesn't say it in the synopsis. So I don't want to tell it to you because it could be a spoiler, but just be prepared for like a shift in the story. That's all I can say. So 3.5 stars. It is purple. I feel like I hauled a ton of purple books last year, this one included. It had flowers on the cover. It does have like a flower shop involved, which was kind of fun just because like we have a flower shop where I work and it's like part of one of the departments that I work for. Also, I just wanted to read it in the spring because of the flowers, and I did that. So yeah, I guess 3.5 stars for this one. All right, once I have finished Once Upon a Broken Heart, I will get on here and chat with you all probably Monday. If I finish it before then, it'll be Monday before I can get on here and chat with you all again, most likely. And yeah, we'll chat later. Hello friends, time for an update. I did finish Once Upon a Broken Heart today, I think. Was it today? Yeah, it was today. Really enjoyed rereading this. I don't have anything really to say about it or any new thoughts. Just having a good time re-experiencing this via audiobook in order to prepare for book 3, which comes out in October, of course. So yeah, that was fun. I will be rereading Ballad of Never After sometime this summer. But for now, I have switched over to what once was mine. This is A Twisted Tale by Liz Braswell. This is a Disney's Twisted Tale about Rapunzel. This is a book that I've had on and off unhaul piles a couple times in the past, but then one day I was like reading the synopsis of it and actually sounded kind of good, so I decided to keep it and give it a try. Rapunzel, or Tangled rather, is my favorite like Disney movie. She's definitely like my top 2 Disney princesses, Moana being the other one. And I have started this via audiobook. By the way, I did decide to join Libro FM for just a few months here during the summer so that I can get a new audiobook every month, the ones that aren't available from my library anyways. So this is one of those. I love the narrator for this. So far so good on this. It is told like a story within a story. So the first chapter of this is basically this young guy, I guess, I don't know how old he is, but he's in the hospital with his sister. His sister is in the hospital. She's sick with cancer, and he's telling her stories. They just watched Tangled, and now she wants to read another Rapunzel story, and so he decides he's going to tell his own version of the story, and that's kind of what this is, I believe. So didn't expect that going into it, but it's a nice little fun added thing, I guess. A story within a story type situation. So like I said, the narrator for this is fantastic. It's making it a really enjoyable read. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what my hair is doing here. So I'm really excited that I decided to pick this up via audiobook. So if I haven't mentioned it already in this vlog, this is a twist on the Rapunzel story, of course. It says, what if Rapunzel's mother drank a potion from the wrong flower? So I believe she accidentally drinks a potion from the moon drop flower instead of the sun drop flower, and it causes her hair to be silver, and she actually, instead of having healing powers, has the power to hurt and kill. And so in order to keep everyone and the kingdom safe, they decide to basically like send off Rapunzel under the care of the good wife Mother Gothel, who actually has the sundrop flower herself. For 19 years, Rapunzel stays imprisoned in the tower, knowing she must protect everyone from her magical hair. When she finally decides to leave the only home she's ever known to see the floating lights that appear on her birthday, she gets caught up in an unexpected adventure with 2 thieves, a would-be outlaw named Gina, and Flynn Rider, a rogue on the run. And if you're new here, I have the hard eyes for Flynn Rider. So I'm hoping that the character that we know from the Tangled movie of Flynn Rider is present in this book as well, and I hope he feels like that character is what I'm trying to say, because I love him. But so far so good. Like I said, the narrator is fantastic, so I'm enjoying sitting down and listening to this. I did get it started, but I'm only like 40 pages into it so far, and tomorrow will be the big day of cleaning, my first of like 10 throughout the summer, and we're gonna focus on one room, which is the office, which you can't see from where we're sitting. That door right there goes to the office. So all my books are in there, the desk is in there, there is a closet that's kind of junky. I want to pull out all the furniture, vacuum underneath it all. Actually, we did that recently in that room, so it's probably not going to be super bad in there, because we did just get a new desk and everything. We like kind of cleaned under where it sits just like a month or two ago. And then I also want to clean the windows and the blinds and the walls and just like everything in there. So while we do that, we're gonna listen to What Once Was Mine. So anyways, that's all I have for this update, and we will get started on cleaning tomorrow. Hello friends, it is Monday. I almost said Sunday, but it's Monday. It's my day off. If it's really echoey, I'm sorry. I'm in the office and I am in the middle of cleaning. Progress is going well. I am very tired. It's now time for me to take a break, which is why I'm getting on here and updating you all. I'm gonna record a video super quick and then get back to cleaning pretty much. I'll show you where I'm at. So I have a pile of stuff down here that I think will end up going to Goodwill. I took everything off my shelves so that I could move them out and then clean behind them and clean on top of the shelves and all that. I have done that, so I just need to move everything back, and then I put this back where it belongs and all that good stuff. But look at my living room. All of the books, all of the stuff from the shelves, and 2 chairs are in here. I am already dreading having to put all these back on the bookshelves and figure out color order. I have stuff on the chair here, and then if you swing around here, I have put a bunch of crap on top of this thing. So putting stuff back where it belongs is going to be a very exhausting portion of this day. But regardless, I am really happy with how clean the room is looking and how it smells. It smells like Pledge. So now I'm going to take a break, record a video, eat some lunch, and then I'll get back into cleaning later. Oh, let's talk about the book that I'm reading, but I don't know where my actual book is. Hang on. So I've been listening to What Once Was Mine while cleaning, and this is going great. I'm about 40% into it, so I'm starting to wonder if I can actually finish this today. It's still early in the morning, so hopefully I can at least get really good progress in it and then finish it throughout the week before next weekend. I really don't want to spend more than a week on this and get the majority of it read today. So I am really enjoying it. It's really fun. I think if you like the movie Tangled and like the characters of Tangled, it's a fun little twist on that story. So I'm having a good time with it so far, and I don't really have much more to say about it just yet, other than I really like the narrator for this, which I think I mentioned already. I did go to Audible to search and see if she has done any other audiobooks, but nothing else came up except for this. So maybe she's just a voice actress. I don't know. I had never heard of her before, but I thought she did a great job on this audiobook, and hopefully she'll be doing more audiobooks in the future. So yeah, that's all I have to say at the moment. I'm going to go record my video, make my lunch, get back into all this, and we'll chat later. Okay, so I do have my books back on the shelves. I'm still in the process of moving all that crap that was in the living room back in here, but I have decided to unhaul some books. So I will show you those now. I am going to let go of On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. The only thing about this is that it's signed and personalized because I met Angie Thomas, but that's okay. I'm still gonna pass it along. I do still have a signed and personalized copy of The Hate You Give, so that one I will be keeping for sure. But this one, it wasn't really like my favorite book, and I'm just holding on to it because it's signed. Next, I'm going to let go of this edition of Little Women. It's very possible that I would haul a different edition later, but this one is only like half the story, so that was like a whole thing whenever I read this book. This is only like part 1, and I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? Anyways, I don't want this edition anymore. I'm also gonna go ahead and let go of Daisy Jones and the Six. I think I've mentioned this in an unhaul video before, but I decided to keep it whenever the show was coming out, but now I've decided to unhaul it again because it's just, I just don't care for this book that much. Next, I have One Day in December by Josie Silver, which is a book that I 5-starred when I read it, but I haven't thought about it since then, so I don't think it needs to live here anymore. Next, we have This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron, a book that I read recently. Didn't love it, not enough for it to live on my shelves anyway, so I'm going to pass it along. And then lastly, I think I've maybe mentioned this one before as well, but this edition of the Saga graphic novels, this bind up, this is volumes 1 through 9, and it's heavy and like impossible to do anything with, so I just don't want it anymore. Hey guys, so it has been a few days since I updated last. I do have some bookish updates for you all, but I also just wanted to show you the office because it is looking nice. Ava's been in here playing on the computer a little bit here and there, but I am very pleased with how this room was looking and smelling whenever I was done with it. So when you walk in, I have cleaned up some of the junk off the floor a little bit. And we just have this chair. This is the table that my husband made in a college course, I think. And then this is the cat scratching post. If you guys ever hear obnoxious like sounds in the background of my videos, it's because they always come in here when I'm in here and start scratching on this post. And then we have my TBR cart right here and the desk, of course. And on the desk, this set of books right here are the books that I'm the most likely to pick up next. Ava's right here vlogging her own vlog, I guess. And then these are our book club picks that I own. So we are actually reading the one on top there, The Fiancé Farce, in June. So I'm excited about that. And then here's the bookshelf over here. So I did dust everything. I took everything off the top and dusted it. And then the books that I unhauled, you already saw. And that was able to make room for the books that I do want to keep. And then, of course, this is all my Harry Potter stuff over here. And we have some Disney stuff up here. So yeah, we took out all the furniture. We vacuumed behind it. We dusted all the walls. We got spots off the wall like dirt, smudges, and whatnot. It's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy about it.
So I'm also recording on mine, and I was just showing them like around and stuff like that. And I might show them a few things on the Switch.
Okay. Ooh, Inception. Okay, so now it's time for bookish updates. I did want to comment on the phones. We did get new phones. I think I mentioned in this vlog that we might, and we did. So we got the new iPhone 14 Pluses, and we traded in our 12 Pluses, and we didn't really have to pay for those, so that was nice. We had to pay tax, but that was pretty much it. It's always kind of exciting to get an upgrade on the camera situation on the phones, because we do go to Disney World a lot, and while we take our good cameras with us, it's just always good to have a good pocket camera too, you know? All right, so the book that I was reading is What Once Was Mine by Liz Braswell. I have finished this. I did read most of it while cleaning, but I had to listen to a couple of hours of it at work one day. I decided to give this, I think on Goodreads I gave it a 4-star, but really it's probably more like a 3.5. I did really like it a lot. I just think that like these max out at a 4-star rating. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the start value. If this were gymnastics, that would be the start value. I did have a really good time. The audiobook was very well narrated. I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought she did a great job, and I just had fun. It was a good, enjoyable read. I'm glad that I did read it instead of unhauling it. It was fun. Rapunzel is my favorite Disney princess, with the exception of Moana. They're both like top 2. And I had a good time with this. Wait, do you think they'll do a Moana Twisted Tale? I would definitely read that one. I do feel like the characters stayed in character for the most part. I was worried that Flynn wouldn't feel like Flynn, and I don't think that that happened, so I'm happy about that. I do think that Rapunzel felt like Rapunzel, and then we also got the new character of Gina, I think was her name, and I liked the 3 of them together. I thought they were a good time. So this was fun and interesting, a good spin on the story, unique, but also made a lot of sense. It wasn't too out there, and I had a good time. And that's all I have for this entire reading vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I am bringing back reading vlogs, so be looking for the next one very soon. I think in the summer I'm going to be doing every other video is a reading vlog, because I do have so many reading plans for the summer, and then after that I'll get back to every 3rd video is a reading vlog. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Let's go chat in the comments, and hit subscribe if you have not done so already. I am trying to post a video every week. Thanks guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.